Our today's guest lecturer, for those of you who attended St. Augustine's College, he's an old boy of St. Augustine's College, proceeded to IPS in those days. Now it is called UPSA, where he studied a certificate in, he studied for a certificate in, at the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators. He enlisted into the Ghana Armed Forces, or the Ghana Military Academy, in 1988 and was commissioned to the rank of lieutenant in 1990. He undertook all the military mandatory courses, including Young Officers Course, Junior Staff Course, Combat Team Commanders Course, Fire Officers Course, Senior Staff Course. You guys, do you understand these ones? We'll explain. He has held series of appointments, including platoon commander. Even me, I don't understand, but platoon commander, company commander, aide de camp to the CDS, group officer. I think that one I know what it means. Group officer, service financial controller. He's been the director for pay and accounts, director budget, commanding officer, defense financial controller, and currently deployed at the Ministry of Defense as the Controller and Accountant General's representative. His qualifications are a lot, including a BSc entrepreneurship. So those of you who are doing entrepreneurship in this class, he had a first class. Yes, MSc, he had a distinction, supply chain management, Coventry University, masters in arbitration and conflict management. Those of you who think soldiers don't have certificates, this is a lot. He has an executive certificate in logistics and supply chain management, advanced certificate in corporate governance, and he's currently in the PMP class, that is a project management professionals and certified fraud examiners course. So even at this time, he's still studying. In terms of a few board membership positions, he's a member, the GIMPA alumni, founding and director of the Services Integrity Savings and Loans Company. That's a savings and loans company that belongs to the military. He's a founding member and immediate past director of the Ghana Armed Forces Provident Fund. And he's also a large-scale farmer in coconut, cocoa, animal husbandry, and fish farming. It's a very long one, isn't it? So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome our guest lecturer for today, Brigadier General Amissah.
Thank you so much. One time, I was in Liberia on peacekeeping duty, and we had a lecture in the University of Liberia. And so when they were reading the profile of one of our big men, they were saying middle school leaving certificate, distinction, common entrance, he passed with distinction. It was so long. Meanwhile, the professor came and it was short, BSc, MSc, PhD. So I learned a lesson. But I'm sure when they were typing, he thought that it was a lot, but I'm sure the font made it that way. Anyway, I'm happy to be with you. Once again, so I am sure that I may have disappointed you because you wanted to see me in uniform. But looking at the topic we are going to treat, servant leadership. And so I thought that I could disguise myself as a young man. I'm not a young man. I'll be 60 next year. Yes. I thought that I could disguise myself as one of you so that we can share together what I brought. I want it to be very interactive because leadership is not something we learn from the book, but because it is in an academic setting, we'll try and go through as quickly as possible. Then after, we can have some interaction. But I don't know the norm here. If can they interact whilst we, because I want it to be interactive. I would want to ask questions and I want them to. Okay, so let's begin. What is leadership? What is leadership? What I will begin by saying is that leadership brings order. So when there is order, it means there is leadership. In the home, imagine there was no leadership here. Is there a course leader here? I hear it's a combined class. So at least for every course, there's a leader who goes around checking whether the lecturer is in or is on time, teaching materials are ready, and all that. So leadership is very crucial in managing the home, the church. In fact, every institution, there must be a leader. So you go to markets, and we have the market queens. They are the leaders. In fact, because I'm a farmer, I can talk about the market queens. If you harvest your produce and you bring it to Makola or Abublushi, and you don't give it to the market queen, or you don't see you cannot sell. They bring order there. So that is about leadership. So who is a leader? Some very few definitions. A leader is a person who influences a group of people towards achieving a common goal. So we have a group of people, we have a goal, and somebody must channel the collective energies of the group to achieve the goal. I am sure that all of you have a reason why you are here. That is your goal. And there must be somebody, by way of the lecturer, who would push you towards that goal. A person who aims to inspire other people and motivate them towards a goal is the same thing we said. John Maxwell says, one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. If you are a leader and you don't know the way, how are you going to lead the people? Amongst you, if there's no one to lead you, we all go astray. Aristotle saw leadership in three perspectives. To be loyal to the governance established by the many. You know, those days, it was people's assembly. And when the people sat, there must be somebody who would be loyal to the governance structure and who would channel the ideas to whatever goals they aimed to achieve. That person must be capable of performance in his duties. He must be knowledgeable, virtuous, and just. You understand that? He must have the courage of honesty, the quality of honesty. He must be firm, he must be just. And Simon defines as a leader as someone who embraces the awesome responsibility to see those around them rise. A leader must see you rise. I'm sure some of your lecturers or your lecturers will want to see you as better people. I hear some of you are doing robotics and all that. So I'm sure the aim of your lecturers is to make sure that you become better persons than they are. And that is leadership. Anybody who does not want his subordinate to surpass him is a weak person. It's just like parents in the home. The father is the leader of the home. He wants his children to be better than he is. My son is a captain in the army. I am a brigadier general. I hope one day my son will be a lieutenant general when I retire. That is leadership. I don't say that, oh, my son, I've been a general, so why should my son be a general? So that is how Simon sees leadership. So, in leadership, first of all, there must be a people. There must be a goal. And there must be somebody who would influence the people to achieve the goal. Leader, therefore, is a driver that transports people through various actions to the desired destination. Qualities of a leader. There are so many qualities. And like I said, I want it to be interactive. So will anybody tell me, let's go, some of the qualities. Leadership, somebody must bell the cat. Yes. Please. Sit, please.
A leader must be visionary.
Wonderful. There's no right or wrong answer. Exactly. Tolerant, yes. Accountable. Let's go. Is that all? Courageous, wonderful. Resilient. Okay, that's fine. Patient. Good. Tolerant, patience. Yes. Let's go. We haven't finished. Let's go. Approachable. Wonderful. You're right. Let's go. Yeah. Committed. Yes, you're right. You're all right. You know, I have been on peacekeeping many times, and so sometimes my ears. So please, if you can. Delegation, correct. Responsible. Accountability, good. Any more? Eugene, I think that I have to go because they know all. They've said it all. We don't need to proceed. That is all. Clap for yourself. So I bring this because I'm from the military, and military academy is about leadership. So when you enter the military academy, the honor code is a cadet will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do so. And you see all the qualities you talked about. Honest, approachable, accountable, responsible, and you can find them here. Because if you are honest, you will not cheat. And these are the things that can get you out of the military academy. In fact, our time when we went, we were 60. When we were commissioning 2 years later, we were left with about 15. Today, some commissioned from the military academy. And for sure, some fell out. You see, leadership is about controlling people, being entrusted with the destinies of people. And so they expect that you'll be above board. That is the qualities we are talking about. And so those of you who aim to join the military, that is the first thing that will. And you see, I'll share some jokes with you. When I was, it's not today, all of you have boyfriends and girlfriends. Yes. When I was in the military academy, I was focused on the training. The training was such that it was so hard, and I told myself that I won't go back home. I'll do it. So my focus, I didn't even have a girlfriend in the military academy. And you see, the officer training is such that It is a holistic training. They will organize, after the hard training, they will organize for you to go to the mess. You will drink, you will dance, but even in the drinking and dancing, they will be marking you. They can find fault. So I remember that when we were graduating, first it was, graduating. Everybody had to bring the girlfriend. I didn't have a girlfriend. So, I left IPS, UPSA, and went. So one of my friends brought one of our mates. So I was dancing with her. Then the commander came. He said, "Is that your girlfriend?" I said, "Yes, sir." So a very beautiful girl. Then I went and sat down. Then the lady was dancing with the other officer. "Is that your girlfriend?" "Yes, sir." Then they called me. "Whose girlfriend is that?" Integrity. I nearly got sacked. Because you don't even have a girlfriend and you don't have the courage to say that I don't have. You were lying. I nearly got sacked. So, you see, it seems funny, but this is the standard to which they hold you. And this is the standard any leader will be held to. So, like you said, it's there. Let's go. Next slide. You mentioned it. Integrity, honesty. If even they are cutting your head, you must say the truth. Again, when I was in 64 Infantry Regiment, as a young officer, those times we were conducting this anti-armed robbery with the police. You are too young to know about the police commandos. There was a unit called Police Commandos, headed by one Jack Bebley. If you Google, you read about him, Jack Bebley. And so one night, we went on patrols and came back very late. We got back home around 4 a.m. I slept. By 7:30, I had to be at work. Then fortunately, my commanding officer sent me to Achimota. So I drove my car. I said, "Look, let me go and sleep small." So I came back, parked my car in the mess. I used to live at the Army mess, officers mess. Parked my car and went and slept. My CO came and stood by my car in the mess and called me on Motorola. "Your location?" I said, "Sir, Congo Junction." Congo Junction is the entrance to Burma camp. So, "Okay, when you come, see me in my office." I said, "Yes, sir." So I quickly went, took my car. Immediately I got there, the mess boy told me that, "Sir, when your CO was calling you, he was standing by your car." Can you imagine my face and my countenance when I went to the unit? So I told myself, never again. If I had told him that, sir, I'm in my room, what would he have said? Yes, he would have insulted me, but then my integrity would not have been at stake. So next time, when you tell him something, he will say, "Are you sure?" So those are the practical examples of integrity and honesty. You must be able to communicate. Somebody said accountability. You must be able to account to your subordinates. You must empower them. Simon said it, so that they become better persons. You must be flexible. You must be able to adapt. So if there is no mic here, and every day we use a mic, it means that the lecture will not come on. You must use what we in the army call soldier voice. You must come and stand here, drink water, and shout for them to hear. You must be able to adapt to all situations, and that is leadership. Transparency. You understand transparency. You must be open. You must not be shady. Once you are shady, your subordinates will not trust you. Assuming your lecturer is asked to send you to Kumasi, every student is entitled to, let's say, 200 Ghana cedis for meals. And you get to Nkoko and he's telling you, you take 50 cedis, take 50 cedis, you take 100. Will you trust the person? You will not. You must be transparent. They gave you 200 and it's 200. Take. When you do that, they will trust you. Your subordinates will trust you and will die for you. Empathy. You must feel for your subordinates. You see, sometimes in such academic settings, there are some people who cannot pay their fees. And Exam time. Look, you will not write the exams. Go. But you see, if you're a parent, you know that it's not every time that money day for paying. So when you have that empathy, maybe you say, oh, okay, we can do something about it. You write, next time you come and pay. But you see, it must be both sides. When they are empathizing with you to let you write the exam, you must also empathize with the school that they also have bills to pay. And so you will pay. And not that you finish and you go and you say that you won't pay. So somebody mentioned courage. Yes, you must have courage. And I'll also give one example. During the Konkomba and Numba War, I think most of you are young, so you may not know that. An unfortunate incident happened. And 2 young officers who had just commissioned from the military academy, 6 months, were deployed in the north. Unfortunately for them, they were ambushed by some of the armed elements. And they cut them into pieces, soldiers. They cut them into pieces and shared their. And so they sent, I had come back from Cambodia, and my boss was Lieutenant Colonel Bevrolate, if you have heard his name. He used to be the National Security Coordinator during the past regime. He had also come back from Bosnia. So they formed a team to go and replace those guys. When I was going, my family was crying because they have cut somebody into pieces and you are going. Be that as it may, we went. And we were tasked that within 2 weeks, we should be able to resolve the issues. But within it, the context of courage that I want to talk to you about is that, you see, we were young officers. Yes. And so they have killed your friend. Would you want to be foolhardy? In the military, we have what we call cordon and search. For example, if they suspect that somebody is hiding some weapons here, at dawn, they'll come and surround the place, cordon the place, and search. So we're doing cordon and searches. There was one officer who we had our teams. So when we get there at dawn, he will tell the people that follow the path because it is segmented. 1 platoon is here, 2 platoon is here, 3 platoon is here. So his platoon, he will tell them, follow the path. He was scared. So he would tell the soldier, you follow the path, you go and stand there, you go and stand there. So before we said Jack, the soldiers were calling him, follow the path. So anytime there was any dangerous operation, nobody wanted to go with him. Because he didn't have the courage to lead them. Assuming for once, he led them, you stand here, you stand here, you stand here, you stand here. Next time when he told them stand, they'll say that, oh, this man cried, he was able to do it, so he can do it. But if you say follow the path, they will follow the path and go and stand there because you are scared. So next time when you are giving order, he will not. And there was one funny one, we were in Liberia again, and one of the companies was supposed to capture an objective for another company to go. And the platoon commander, he said, Asawa, Minaminko, Nemfanwami. You understand? He said, Asawa means cotton wool. I should go for them to. So he reported sick. All the troops also reported sick. Yes. You report sick, they report sick. So these are some of the examples of leadership. You see, everybody has fear in him. Everybody has fear. But you see, if you're a leader, you have additional responsibility to overcome the fear in order to be able to push your subordinates. Commitment. Somebody mentioned commitment. You must be committed to the cause. If you are not committed to the cause, how do you get somebody committed? Problem solving, yes, of course, that's why you're a leader. Your followers will have a lot of issues, but you would have to. That is why somebody said, you must be patient, you must be tolerant. No matter what it is, you must listen. And you must learn. So coming here is not only to just come and stand here and talk, but I hope that by the end of the day, I also learn something from you. That is what it is. Like my friend Eugene said, in fact, on the CV, they wrote that I'm struggling to pass. It is true. for so many years, I haven't been able to pass the PMP and the Certified Fraud examination. I am struggling to pass. You must continuously learn. Somebody will say, I'm going to be 60 years in January. Why am I still learning? But the brain must work. So I urge you on that, look, continue to striving to learn. Learn. When you pass your exam, that is not the end of it. Because if you continue, that is what will make you a better person. Somebody mentioned delegation. You can't do it all, and so you must delegate. Now, servant leadership. See, the new concept is servant leadership. And again, I'll take you back to the military academy. If you go to the mess, what you see there is, he who seeks to command must first learn to obey. If you want to command and you can't take orders, then you don't have any business there. And that is why when you go to the military academy, even though you will become an officer in, let's say, 6 months, 8 months, or 1.5 years, you have subordinates teaching you and hitting your head. Corporals, sergeants, insulting you, hitting your head. It is to teach you the virtues of subordination. And so, when you go to military academy again, there's a heaving bar. What is there is that you came here as a boy. You live here as a man, bold and confident. So that is what is done to you, to teach you the subordination. Before you can lead, you must learn to obey. Then again in the mess, you have this, the safety, honor, and welfare of your country comes first, always, and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of the men you command comes next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety comes last. That is servant leadership. You are not a leader to boss it over people. Yes, in the military, you say that obey before you complain and all that. But beneath that, this is what they teach you in the military academy. So it is not all that obey. Your men are very important. You serve them. You place their interest above your own interest. And that is why when I said courage, when I was talking about courage, I said that if you were scared to go, you think that blood doesn't run through them, they will not go. So you went and reported sick. They followed you. They are also sick. They went. Okay, so in the 1970s, this kind of leadership began to evolve in the 1970s. And it was propounded by Robert K. Greenleaf. It is a kind of leadership that places serving others as a topmost priority. So if you're a leader, yours is to serve. But I'm sure that when you see the kind of leadership in Africa, it will make you cringe, because the leader is sitting in a V8, traffic, you give way, he gets down, they open the door for him, he comes to sit, they serve him, all that. That is not leadership. Those are the perks attached to leadership. Those are what you enjoy as addition to leadership. But that doesn't make you a leader. When we come to this, when we want to apply this servant leadership. So this philosophy says that first, serve first before leading. And you can serve first by focusing on the well-being and the growth of others. So you build leaders out of your team. You prioritize organizational tasks, and you foster collaboration and trust. You see, we have been saying the same thing since I started. Trust, building trust, collaboration. looking at the definition of leadership, getting people to work, coordination. So that is what it is. Greenleaf contends that a servant leader's primary motivation and purpose is to encourage greatness in others, which would indirectly contribute to achieving organizational goals. So when you push your team to be great, productivity obviously will increase because they'll be motivated, they'll be happy to work. Characteristics of a servant leader. These are not different from what we discussed, but just for little emphasis. Listening. To be a good servant leader, you must listen. You must have very good listening skills. When I was a commanding officer, I used to do something, and people thought that it was populism. It wasn't. It was a way of getting intelligence. I would buy, when I finish my work, I would send for granules and corn and granules, and take my newspaper and go and sit in one of the offices. And I invite somebody, oh, come and chew. And I was a colonel by then. Can you imagine coming to chew granules with your commanding officer in the military? Oh, chew, I'll encourage you. Then I will bring some topic. Then I'll be listening to you, I'll contribute. In no time, people will lose guard. And they'll start talking, and I'll listen, I'll hear. And that is how I got most of my information. So sometimes I say I had juju. You see, I'm a Catholic, so anytime I used to carry my rosary around. So anytime I said, me, I have juju, and I'll show this is my juju. Anything you say about me, I hear. But how do I hear? Nobody comes to tell me. These are the little things. And sometimes I think myself, sit there and listen. And listen, just listen. Once you have that listening skills, you understand people. Because if you don't listen, how would you understand them? You listen, and once you listen and understand them, you build trust. Here again, we are talking about trust. Empathy, we have spoken about empathy, understanding and fellow feeling. Awareness. Self-awareness and social awareness. Self-awareness, looking inwardly to learn and understand ourselves. Though some people don't even understand themselves. Some people don't know themselves. They don't know who they are. But you must understand who you are. You must understand your weaknesses, your strengths. You do a SWOT analysis of yourself to be able to become a good leader. Then after that, you look at the social aspects, the community, the environment. Once you have these two in tow, you become a good leader. Because you blend the two. You know your inadequacies, you know your strengths. You know what is in the environment, the weaknesses in the environment, you blend. Persuasion. You must be able to persuade. As against coercion. You build group consensus through gentle and persistent persuasion and not through power position. So, for example, in the military, discipline is defined in the military as doing what is right when nobody is watching you. That is the definition of discipline. Doing what is right when nobody is watching you. And so if your boss is there and you are sober and he's not there, his absence brings another character, you are not disciplined. You must do a self-introspection. You are not disciplined. And so when we bring it to persuasion and coercion, your subordinates must respect you for who you are and not because of your rank. If my subordinates respect me as a brigadier general because I wear the brigadier general rank, then I've lost it. They must respect me for the leader I am rather than for the rank I wear. Because I always tell people, these are ranks are transient. We retire. As I'm standing here, if I came and Eugene had not introduced me as a soldier, would you have known that I was a soldier? You wouldn't. If you met me outside, you wouldn't have known. But if I come here in uniform, you'd have known that, yes, proper. I'm a Brigadier General proper. Yes. And so people must take me, trust me for my leadership qualities rather than for my rank. Once they trust you for your rank, you have lost it. Stewardship. You see, prudent resource management for the followers and the organization as a whole. It comes back to what we said earlier on, transparency, openness. And once you are committed to openness and your subordinates know that you are open, you are good to go. Commitment to growth. We have said it earlier on, you must be committed in empowering your subordinates to grow to become better persons than you. The others are conceptualization. Healing is close to empathy, conflict management, foresight, somebody said it, among others. So the benefits of a servant leader. When you are a servant leader, you build trust. You build and sustain trust. Going back to trust again. This will increase the morale of your followers, and as a result, there will be job satisfaction. There will be enhanced teamwork and collaboration. So you will not tell them what to do. They will do it for you. They will die for you. Collective decision making will bring the best out of the team. Again, increase productivity. Reduce turnover means that people will not want to leave. Because if you are an organization and every day somebody wants to leave, somebody wants a better opportunity, then the organization has failed. The leadership has failed. And if you adopt the servant leadership approach, there will be higher engagement among the employees, the customers, and all the stakeholders. And all this will translate into higher productivity. Dues of a servant leader. Leadership by example. You must not do what you tell your subordinates not to do. Again, I'll give you one example. We went to Côte d'Ivoire during Operation Amissah. We were with another battalion in the same place. And what the UN abhors is sexual exploitation. You know, when there is war, when there is conflict, people become vulnerable. And that is why, as young people, you must strive to encourage peace. When there is war, people become vulnerable. You are hungry, especially women and children. People will take advantage of them and things. So UN abhors sexual exploitation. So there was this battalion from another country. The commanding officer said that nobody should go out and chase any woman. First, to protect them against STDs, AIDS, and things, because the military is also concerned about your family back home. So this I don't want to mention the country because, so this CO every night will drive his car and go and bring his girlfriend and come and sleep there. And at dawn, 4 a.m., he will go and drop the woman. One day, he was coming and he met a soldier who had also gone to maneuver and was coming. He said, "I've arrested you." He brought the guy. He put the guy under close arrest. Do you think it's fair? So one of the officers there came and told us, and One day in the mess, that is where we sit, that's where we chat, that is where we socialize. So one of us went to the CEO and said, "Oh, sir, please, if you can leave the guy because it is creating problems." And the subordinates were talking. You went and you saw me, and you see, it brings a breakdown of discipline. And so, what you say they shouldn't do, you yourself don't do it. But you see, this is not a good example, but let me tell you, if you want to do it, then don't be caught. Because if you are caught, then your credibility comes into play. Open, transparent communication. Once again, communication. We must be open with ourselves. Your subordinates, you must be open. You must talk to them. You must share your anxieties with them. And when there is conflict, you must resolve the conflict swiftly. Because if you don't resolve the conflict, it will breed indiscipline. Again, one day, I was an officer commanding in Lebanon. Then, there was this soldier. He was a bad soldier, very bad soldier. He was lying in his bed quietly. Then, a warrant officer, a senior soldier, was talking to his friends and was insulting the commanding officer. They are thieves. These officers, they are thieves. They are stealing our money. They are chopping our money. They are doing this. The bad soldier didn't say anything. He kept quiet. Then one day, that senior man gave him orders. He told him that fuck off. In the military, if you say tell off your boss, you'll be charged. So he said, I will charge you. I was in my room. They came. Sir, this soldier has insulted me. Sir, I will charge him. I said, charge him. Bring him. When he came, I said, what's the problem? He said, sir, did you say fuck up? He said, yes, sir. Why? Sir, this man, the other day, I was lying in my bed, and he was insulting the commanding officer that is a thief. I said, wow. So I asked the W, did you say that? He said, sir, and when somebody starts saying, you know that, I said, did you say it? He said, sir, I have witnesses. Go and bring the witnesses. They came. Did he say it? Yes, sir. I said, okay, you go. You see, you should never reprimand a superior in the presence of his subordinates. So I told them to go out. And I said, W, you were insulting the commanding officer. Your boss, you were insulting him. Now they have insulted you, you see how painful it is. If you charge him, I have to refer him to the commanding officer. He will go and say this, and you'll be in trouble. So please, let's resolve the matter here, okay? So I asked a young man to go and apologize to him, and we resolved it. There was peace. So resolution of conflicts. Look, if I had not resolved this matter that way, the juniors were going to seriously disrespect the seniors. The seniors were going to always charge on the juniors. Team cohesion break. Esprit du corps will break. And the leader will fail because you cannot get each of them as a team to work. That is why it is important that when there is conflict, you resolve it and resolve it quickly. As a leader, servant leader, you must recognize and celebrate team achievements. When your team does well, recognize them, clap for them, reward them. Don't take the credit as a leader because they work for you. When you take the credit as a leader, they are human beings. Next time, they will say that, okay, do it and let's see. They will leave you. But when it's team effort, oh, well done, class. Look, you have done well. They will strive to do more. The same way, compliment individuals on team when they compliment the whole team. But if an individual in the team does well, compliment him, let him come forward, clap for him. It will spur others on to also work hard. Again, listen, and listen. Because it is through that you get feedback. And as a servant leader, to be successful, you must coach and mentor your followers by enhancing their skills in order to create leaders out of them. Limiting factors. You know, some people in this world do not want to take responsibility. They want to be directed. So when you come and say, oh, let's think about this issue, he will tell you that you are the big man, you collect big pay. Why don't you think about it? Why should I help you to think about it? That is a setback to that kind of leadership, servant leadership. He wants you to come and tell them, look, go and sweep here, or go and do this, so that if it fails, you take ultimate responsibility. It's not them. So you don't say that it is you, the leader who has failed. They want to see you as a failure. And people don't like change. People want routine. So if you want to introduce that, look, let's sit down every Tuesday, let's sit down and discuss this issue. Sit down for what? Discuss what? Me, I want to go and buy my gobet. Let's finish, talk and let's go away. So you have that resistance. Emotional balance. People have egos. When we're coming, I was telling my people. Anyway, I didn't introduce them. Sorry, this is Lieutenant Osebe Diakun. He's my personal aide. And this is Staff Sergeant Jima. He's my... Jima, what are you? My close... Yes. So when we're coming, I was telling them, you see, some time ago, when I was doing my master's, I used to assign some of my people, soldiers, some work. So I come and say, oh, can you write this for me? Later on, there was a problem. I dealt with the guy, and he said that, oh, me, I don't know anything. When I was in school, he was writing things for me. That is the setback to this one. Once you go down and start taking decisions, they think that you don't know. And they perceive you to be weak. Sometimes people who are not prepared to learn, people who are dogmatic, would want to always stick to their status quo. So it will be difficult to teach them and train them. And such people who have closed their minds, when you are taking a decision, you will never contribute. So it will take, decision-making time becomes longer. So to achieve success as a servant leader, you must set clear goals. And these goals must align organization goals and team goals. Once you build a team and align the team goals to the organizational goals, you are good to go. Team empowerment, we have been saying it all through. Somebody said delegation. When you delegate, you train them, and you provide the resources. You don't only delegate, but you provide the resources. And once you provide the resources, success will be on the way. Again, transparency and open communication, leadership by example, encourage divergent thoughts. So again, those of you who may want to go to the military academy, during the processes, there is one process called outdoor leaderless test. And that test does not have an answer. They just want to find the leader in you. And so when you go, they will give you a problem. For example, there's this gulf. You are 5, 2 can cross at a time. 1 can come back. You can't cross with both planks and all that. Solve it, 10 minutes. And they'll be sitting there. You see, that is why it is called leaderless test. So somebody will now come and say, look, we should do it this way. No. We should do it this way. This is the best way. That person has already failed. Because they want to see how you listen to others, how you accommodate others' view, how you blend others' view with your view, and how you compromise. So once you say, no, they see you as somebody who is authoritative, and you have failed. So the person will come and say, oh, I spoke, I saw. But you see, you didn't meet the requirements. So diversity of thoughts. They look at, the problem is there, this one is saying this, this one is saying this, this one is saying this, this one is saying this. And they look at how you blend all the various thoughts that have come up in order to resolve the problem. Create a culture of trust. We have spoken about trust. Attitude of unselfishness. They, as opposed to me. The welfare of your men comes first, before your own welfare. We saw it there. Foster leadership in others. Ethical behavior. Do what you say. So the 3 C's of servant leadership. All the things we have said, you can find them in compassion, your character, your honesty, integrity, competence, courage, and all that. And once these 3 things come up, your subordinates will trust you. And when they trust you, their motivation will be high. You create a vibrant workforce, and eventually productivity becomes high. This comes to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
If any questions, so we can.
Okay. I'll be very glad if now I can also learn from you. Because like I said early on, I didn't only come here to talk blah, 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 blah. But sometimes it's good to learn from the young ones too. So I'll be glad to hear from you. And you must talk. It's an order now. You must talk.
So if you have a question, raise up your hand.
Good afternoon, sir. So I wanted to ask, back in high school, did you take any leadership roles?
Oh, yes. In fact, in St. Augustine's, I was a house prefect. And in IPS, I was the SRC secretary. But you see, let me tell you something funny when I was a secretary. You know, those days, there was a looter. So, as secretary, when we go to the SRC meeting, I could talk. So I'll stand there and incite the students against, we'll go on strike, we'll do this. But me, I wanted to join the army. So I used to go to the bar, I used to see the armored vehicles, the way the tourists were, and I said, what? So when I incite people to go on the strike, then one day I was hiding in my room, and they asked me, why are you here? I said, I'm printing the materials for you too. Yes. Because I knew I would go to the army. Yes. So that's on the lighter side, but that is it.
So I just wanted to know, how easy is it for you to merge your duties in the army with your farming business? Or if I wanted to, let's say, at this stage, finish the university, join the army, but still do my business, how easy will it be for me?
Okay. The truth about it is that the younger you are, the more responsibilities by way of duties that you have. You do not have the laxity to, because you are like a tool. You can be deployed anytime. And in the military, before you travel outside, you must book what we call a pass. So you may not get that time. You may not get enough time to do your business. even in school, and again, I'll tell you, when I was in school, when my boss realized that I was in school, they posted me to Côte d'Ivoire on peacekeeping duties. I went to him and said, sir, I beg you, I'm writing exam. Say, you people are using military time to go to school and things. So, sir, I beg you. They posted me to Côte d'Ivoire, and not Abidjan, Bouaké. And Bouaké, you start up at 4 a.m., you get to Abidjan around 2 p.m. So what I did was that I parked my vehicle at Elubu. And God being so good, I was a chief logistics and personnel officer. So I was in charge of leave and things like that. And we had Pakistanis and the rest. Pakistanis, they needed about 4 or 5 days traveling time to go from Abidjan to Pakistan. So what I did was that I gave them the 4 or 5 days as free. So it won't be part of your leave. Because if you have 30 days, where you take 4 days traveling time, 4 days, 8 days, you almost spend 10 days. So you go to Pakistan and spend 20 days with your family. So what I did was I'll give you all your 30 days, and I won't count the traveling time. By so doing, I could also drive, they would drive me to Elubu. The next town to Elubu is called Noé, and Noé is part of the operational area of Ekomisi. And so they will bring me to Noé, cross the border, take my car, come for lectures for 3 days. If there's any inspection, I'll drive back. It was terrible. But at the end of the day, I was able to do it. That is how hectic it is as a young man. But as time goes on, as you grow, your schedules become a little bit easier, and you can do what. My son, I told my son is a captain, and as I speak to you, he's in Lebanon. He came back from Lebanon a year ago. He spent 1 year and he's gone. I said he should do his master's. But how can you do your master's when he comes back, depending on the operational situation, he will go. So, as a young man, you don't have time. But as you grow, you would have some time. And that is why I can go to the farm. Because weekends, I don't have anything to do. I'll drive to my farm. But weekends, young man, they are detailing you to go for a funeral, or they are detailing you to go attend a wedding, or go for some guard duties. So that is what it is.
Okay, so my question is, what made you decide on coconuts to farm?
What
made you decide on farming coconuts?
Okay. So, it is something because I did entrepreneurship, right? Do some of you do entrepreneurship? Okay. So you see, look at the number of universities that we have in Ghana. Look at the number of graduates we churn out every year. As against the available jobs. There are no jobs. And that is how come we have unemployed graduate association. Right. And so, those of you doing it, you must employ yourselves. You must employ yourselves. For me, it is not about employing myself. For me, it is about passion. But for young people like you, I think that it is a very good venture to enter. You see, it's kind of a dirty job, but it is rewarding. It is rewarding. And again, I'll come back to these listening skills. I'll trace how I became a large-scale farmer to these listening skills. When we went to Liberia, there was a soldier who had like 5 children who were all educated. So I asked him, W, how do you manage to pay your children's school fees? He said, sir, I'm farming home. I said, really? Oil palm. Can you get me land? So he got me land in Takrady. And I used to send money. This is 2007. So before I said Jack, I had a large oil palm plantation in Takrady. Then, coconut is the ish thing. So I looked at, said, what, coconut? Let me do it. So at least, this year, Jima, how many acres did we do? Yes. And for cocoa, we are hitting about 150 acres of cocoa. Yes. And see? And personally, if you come to my house in the barracks, a general's house is supposed to be with lawns and matambos, where when you come, you get whiskey to drink and things. My house is not like that. My house is littered with plantain, cocoyam. In fact, I plant everything. I have fish. I've constructed fish ponds in my house, and we have about 6,000 catfish there. So this is to encourage you guys. It is possible. When I say it is possible, I'm not talking politics because I'm a soldier, please. It is possible to employ yourself. You don't need much. You don't need much. So I encourage you. If read. If you pick now, everything is online. Coconut farming, cocoa farming. Read. If you happen to come from a village, ask your people, they should find land for you.
So my question is, in leadership, is there an end? Or how can you know you are a leader?
You can't be a leader today and say, I've finished. So tomorrow, I'm not a leader. It is a continuous thing. It is an attitude. It's a habit. You must continue. Everywhere you find yourself, you must be a leader. Everywhere you find yourself. In church, when I retire from the army, I go to church. If they are doing something in the church, I must participate. I must show my skills. I must show that I have learned something from the army. So it's not something you can do and stop. It is a continuous process. It is a way of life.
Okay, thank you very much. It gladdened my heart for what you just told us today. Today.
Please sit.
Okay, no, I can't sit. Okay. I'm above. Yeah. Okay. The question I just want to ask you is that what are some of your influence to the politicians in Ghana? Because I really wanted you to be a politician. Yeah, because what you said, our political leaders or those there, they are not doing anything you mentioned, they are not doing it. So I wish, or what are some of your contributions to the nation? Thank you.
This is a difficult one, but I'll give you an example. You know, during the Rawlings's time, when Rawlings was president, what he used to do is that he would bring all the ministers to the military academy and take them through the process. You wake up in the morning, they bash you around, you go and jog small, you come, they bring you to the square, you come and stand there, you stand in the sun and things, to teach them imbibe in them some of the leadership traits we are talking about. You see, all these things we are talking about evolved from the military. Way back, from the Chinese general, Sun Tzu, military strategies. So these things, business, all these things evolved from the military to the business world. But I don't agree with you if when you say that the politicians are not, it's maybe, don't you see them going around and doing the banku and things? Okay. All right. Maybe when sometimes we have discussions at the staff college level. Sometimes when we have such, we will talk about some of these things. But for me, I see that they are doing well.
Okay, so we'll take the last one.
Good afternoon, sir.
Look, before you talk, I was once like you. Is it your hair?
Yes, please. Thank you, sir.
One day you'll be like me.
Sir, first of all, I want to say thank you for your service. And my question is there a way to go to the military for the upbringing without being drafted to war or something like that?
Oh, I mean, if I get you well, is there a way of getting to the military without going to war?
Yeah, just for the training.
Oh, it's not possible. How would you go to military and say that? However, previously, some national service personnel were trained in the military. I think for logistics and financial considerations, they stopped. But I think it was a very good thing. And I know there is talk about it. Actually, I had a discussion with one big man, and I told him that, look, now everybody, there's no job, so most young men want to join the military. And people don't even see what we do as the military. So I was suggesting that, look, we have large tracts of land around Ejura. So you take like 2,000 hectares of land. You build tents there. You build a square where then you bring machinery. You mechanize the place, irrigation. And anybody who wants to join the military, go and put him there for 1 year, national service. You train him. So once he finishes the national service, he is 60%, 70% assured of enlistment. And we can produce food for the country. You see, when I said I'm a farmer, you're excited. But I'm not the only farmer in the armed forces. I know generals, Asuchari, who have large tracts of land. In fact, I know one general who has about 300 acres of maize plantation in that front place. They are into serious farming. But I thought that if they blended this national service thing, that way we could produce food for the country and we could train committed people. You cannot come to the army. Unfortunately, again, even when you join the army, you don't decide where you go. They will decide for you. And when they decide for you, you cannot say, I would like to go here or I will not go here. Once you are in the uniform, you see, have you gone through tertiary before? Military Academy, the entrance of Military Academy. It is written there. You go wherever you are ordered, even at the peril of your life. That is what it is.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, General Amissah. Shall we give it to him? All right, so I don't think we will be able to give the most honor, military honor, but we have our own way of saying thank you. So I'll call on Jennifer to give the vote of thanks. So Jennifer says it's her first time, so okay. Yes.
So Jennifer, it's about courage and leadership. You must be able to do it.
So we would like to say thank you for taking time off your busy schedule and teaching us that in order to be a leader, we must learn to serve first. And we also like to say thank you for helping us or shaping us to become great leaders in future. I also like to say thank you to Mr. Eugene for bringing you here and helping us have a successful leadership session. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you to you all for comporting yourselves and making this class successful. Thank you.
So on behalf of my able staff, let me also thank you most sincerely for having time to listen to me. It is a privilege and an honor to talk to young men and women like you. I wish that we can have another time to talk about other things not related to leadership, but related to creating jobs after school. So thank you. I wish you well in your studies. And don't ever forget that you are here for a purpose. Your parents are paying fees. In fact, I paid fees, so I know how it is. So please, don't disappoint your parents. Thank you.